has gone frequently to expos and worked on expos, as most of you have done, are the joint pavilions. And we really had a very intense and important discussion with the BAE. What can we do to pass over this concept and provide something original, of content, thematic, important to the countries? And we have divided this, that we believe is one of the key innovative features of our expo, that we call the clusters. So essentially is to work with a number of countries that are willing to come with a strong thematic focus and approach, with spaces that are built by the organizer and then rent out to the companies, and through a collaboration not only of the organizer with the countries, but also with the countries with other categories of non-official participants. So this, the cluster is really one of the key elements. For us, clusters mean many things. Mean innovation, mean solidarity. We have committed during the candidature to take forward an ambitious program of support of developing countries to come to participate to the Expo. And this is the solution we will be working also and proposing to them. They are thematic, so we continue to realize this idea, this vision of that our CEO has illustrated to you, to have the theme everywhere in our Expo. We collaborate, we engage you early, and also we work through dialogue and cooperation. We will set up for each cluster specifically working group with the countries and all the different entities that will be supporting us in developing clusters. But let me say that the clusters offer also the possibility of a strong collaboration with the private sector and with civil society. We have been approached by many NGOs, by many private companies expressing interest to this concept and see how they can provide and support the realization of this kind of idea. So it's through this that we have developed with Matteo and his team the idea of what a cluster are, and Matteo will run you through a little bit of that.
Yeah, the idea was that the countries in the clusters, the idea is that they are based around a common exhibition area. So this is the principal idea. So the countries that can have a thematic common exhibition area where they can have exhibition, food and beverage delivery, events, market shows. Then around this central place, they can have individual exhibition spaces, thematically within what all countries do inside their specific space in their nation, in their countries. Then we have also spaces for individual meeting rooms, offices, and like every other participant, clusters have this dimension of common open-air exhibition area. There is a free-flow space that we want to support in your project, because we know that probably people can't wait to queue to enter in every pavilion, so it's very interesting to have also an open-air exhibition space where people can touch and taste the flavor and of the theme outside the content of pavilion. This is the idea to attract also for the little countries thousands and thousands of visitors. This is a model of what can happen in 2015.
So we have also looked at what are the kind of clusters that we can propose. And here we come to an exercise where really we need to work, we want to work with you, and we offer this as a platform of work with many of you. We have already identified 11 locations on our expo site where we want to place the clusters. And we have already worked on some ideas that obviously will be we can implement them only with your support. The ideas of thematic clusters are the ones that you see here and have already been anticipated by Beppe Sala. You see, there are different thematic approaches. We can work on the food chain, we can work on general themes of particular relevance and interest today. We can work on regional approaches where obviously some regions and small countries want and feel the need to be together to the Expo. It will be, half of it will be open space, green, so very sustainable, but it's also a way of collaborating and offering something that is of interest of the visitor. But surely one of the main questions you will have, but if I do an autonomous individual Expo pavilion and I'm interested in one of these elements. What should I do? That is really important. We would like to work positioning the countries in the expo side, the ones that have also independent exhibition spaces, not through a geographical division, but through a thematic approach. So the countries that feel an interest and recognize themselves on one or more of the thematic clusters that we are developing, we will be positioning around the same area in order to build through their exhibition spaces and the clusters itineraries for the experience of the visitor. So if your country is specifically interested in rice, but is a country that wants to have an autonomous space, that is very well solvable. We will place it in, physically near the cluster of rice, and then work and collaborate between your country and the countries that are in the rice cluster to how can we develop the itinerary, how can we work together on the experience that the visitor will have. So this is also another way in which we make participants work together and work together with us. And we are looking forward. Several countries we have had contact have expressed great interest to this and have already indicated their willingness to join in either be part of the clusters or be associated and be linked to the clusters. And we really invite you in the next hours and the next few days to present to us your interest and the possibilities that you would like to discuss, because we will then set up really true working groups and working tables of the countries and the participants that are interested in the cluster. So our key message is this: we need you. Any kind of innovative feature of an expo can be realized only working together between the participants and the organizer. So we are here in the next few days, and then weeks and months, to see what is your interest and see what kind of cluster we can develop. There are also other features of clusters that we are open up to discuss. Some have been proposed by countries, like food and energy, the water, the nutrition that comes from the water in the world that is important, the sea, the lakes and the rivers. So there are some really key issues that will help us all together to develop the theme of the expo and make it a really attractive event. So let me go forward, because I see Roberto